Okay, so let's get started then. Welcome to the Kleeneze training webinar. As you can see there, tonight's training is called Getting Started. And it's one of a series of 8 webinars that I do. Try and do one a week. Often there's 1 or 2 that I miss in an 8-week period. Sometimes, like last week for example, I was attending an opportunity meeting with one of my new team members. It often takes maybe 9 or sometimes even 10 weeks to do the full cycle of 8. But as I said, they're all recorded, so you're very welcome to go and watch some of the others at the time that's maybe better for you in your business. So as you can see, we're back on number 1 at the moment, which is all about getting started. The first 3 are really about the retail side. Then 4 and 5 and a bit of 6 are more about team building. And then 6, 7 and 8 are more about the personal skills, sort of setting your goals, having a good attitude and personal development, those sorts of things. So today we're going to be covering, it should take us about 20 minutes, half an hour or so. I always stay around for 5 or 10 minutes at the end to answer any questions. And today we're going to be covering just about getting started straight away. Start taking action as soon as you join the business. A bit about your 30-day challenge, getting your catalogues ready, planning, that's really important even from day 1, then delivering your catalogues, then collecting them again, placing your order, receiving the goods, and then delivering those orders to your customers. So pretty much the sorts of things you'll be doing from day 1 during your first week or so. We should be covering a lot of what you'll need tonight. So, getting started. I'm a big believer, you've seen this phrase at the bottom a lot. Ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. When you first start this business, hopefully you've got lots of enthusiasm, you're excited about this new opportunity, and you're kind of dying to get going. Oh, I'm just going to quickly say hi, Tasha from Exeter, one of my new team members. Welcome on board, Natasha. Really get started straight away. It's very tempting to start reading all of the documentation you get and joining webinars like this and going to training meetings and going to local opportunity meetings. Before you know it, you can be 2 or 3 or 4 weeks into your business and you haven't really got anything going. So just get started as quickly as you can is a good piece of advice. So what things can you do to get started? I think a good thing to do straight away, before your catalogues have even arrived, is just to write a list of people that you know, 20 or so people that you know round and about, and family and friends and so on, just letting them know that you started this new business. This will come in handy in all sorts of ways later on, but I'll explain a bit more about that. Now when the catalogues arrive, which should be within a couple of days of you joining up, you'll need to get them ready to be delivered. And a good thing to do again is to show them to your local friends and family. We're all starting these days on either 200 or 250 catalogues, so you'll probably be blanketing all of the houses near where you live. But actually it's quite a good idea to hang on to 5 or 10, so if you've got friends and family nearby, you can show them, because they will, firstly, if they're going to order things from Kleeneze, then it's better if they order from you anyway. And secondly, they may not have even seen a Kleeneze catalogue, and there's so many things in there that they might want to buy from you, and that's just a great boost to your first orders. So, quick question. For those of you who have only been in the business a week or so, has everyone got their catalogues? Can I just ask, is there anybody who's in the business, only been in for a day or so, who hasn't yet received their catalogues? Excellent. Yep, Tasha, thank you. I know you've got yours. That's good. I know Michael Bradshaw. Hi, Michael. I've just seen you on board there. I know you've got yours. McLeana. Good, excellent. So I'm going to take the absence of anybody saying that they haven't got them to say that you've all got your catalogues now, which is great. So, next question then. If you're within your first 30 days, I hope you all know about your 30-day challenge. That challenge is that you want to try to get £600 worth of orders in your first 30 days. So, quick question, and this can be for those of you who maybe have already been through your first 30 days in the last kind of few months, or those of you who have just started. Do you think hitting your 30-day challenge is going to be hard or easy. We should have a quick survey here, shouldn't we? Okay, Natasha's quite hard. Helen, you said it's easy. And I guess actually that's probably a good example. It's yeah, Christopher, hard, easier than you thought it was going to be. Dee and Lynn. Yeah, I think I guess a clue is in the wording. It is a challenge. It's not a 30-day. Oh, let's just put a couple of orders in and we'll reward you with lots of free gifts. But £600 when you're first starting off sounds like it's going to be quite a challenge. But actually, it's about £150 a week in orders. So if you've got 250 catalogues and you can put them out just once a week, then that should take you around 8 to 10 hours by the time you put the catalogues out, collect them back in again and deliver any orders. And on average, and it might not be every single time, but on average you'll get about £1 per catalogue in orders. So 250 catalogues once a week, you should be able to put in an order each week. And as long as you can get over £150 worth, so that you get a total of 600 in your first 30 days, you will hit your target. And that's really a great thing to aim for, because a couple of things. One is you get your first income from that. If you've got £600 worth of orders, you've made about 125 quid for yourself, which is great, kind of proving to yourself that it's working. And on top of that, you've got another 250 full sets of catalogues. So it's really, really worth focusing on trying to get those orders in at the beginning. Get your catalogues in and out as much as you can. We always say if you can work harder in your first 30 days than you plan to, then you'll get the rewards, because as I said there, those extra catalogues will replace any that you've lost, and it just gives you a really good boost to know that it's working well. Okay, so that was a 30-day challenge. Now, getting your catalogues ready for putting them out. The first thing to do is to make sure that you personalise your catalogues. What I mean by that is you should have sticky labels with your name and contact details on. You'll also have day slips. The day slips that I use and I certainly recommend for all of my team are the ones from the Bids web shop. So you'll see an example of one there. And when I'm putting a pack together, what I always recommend is that you put the catalogues in. So, you know, one at the front, one at the back, and then I usually say put the order form in front of the catalogue at the front, and then the day slip in front of that. And I normally put the catalogue that you've got at the back, I normally put that in upside down and back to front. And I'll explain why in a moment. Just make sure that the day slip is right at the front and visible, so the first thing the customer sees, even if they're not planning to order from you, they at least know what day to put it out so that you'll be able to collect it back again. So make sure that your order form is there with the day slip in front of it. And the plastic bags, the snap bags that you put your catalogues in, you should be changing those regularly. With the weather as it is at the moment, they're going to get pretty dirty and tatty quite soon. So, you know, some people change them every time. I personally don't change them every time. I normally look at each bag, and as long as it's clean and neat and looks okay, I'll use it again. But you know, they'll get tatty just through putting them through letterboxes and being left outside for a couple of days. So, and remember, this is your shop window. You don't want to be putting plastic bags that are a bit torn and dirty, because people are just not even going to look at them then. Okay, so that's having got your catalogues ready, all sort of packed up into the plastic bags, and you need to have a plan. Now, the 30-day challenge is a great way to just kind of set your initial plan. One of the things that you need to be careful of when you're first joining any new business, but Kleeneze particularly, if you've had a job in the past, or you've got a job that you're doing alongside your Kleeneze business, there's a mindset change that you need to be aware of between being self-employed as opposed to an employee. When you're an employee, you pretty much know what you're supposed to do. You need to be in the office or wherever you are. You need to be in at work by 9 o'clock. You're allowed to leave at 5 o'clock, and you'll be told what to do in those times. When you're self-employed, one of the beauties of it is you can choose those times. But one of the downsides is you can choose those times. So it's very easy to get up and think, oh, I think I'll just have a cup of tea before we get started, and I'll just quickly check the newspaper. And, oh, hold on a minute, I think there's a radio show and I quite like to listen to. Before you know it, it's lunchtime and you haven't actually got out and done anything. Because you're self-employed, you've got that freedom, but you really need to have some disciplines. And that's where the plan comes in. So the weekly planner, I send one out to all my new team members. It's basically just a very simple chart showing 7 days of the week, mornings, afternoons, evenings, so that you can fit around other commitments that you might have. You know, if you've got the school run or another job or other commitments, you can block those out and then plan the rest of your time so that, you know, have I got time to put out my 250 catalogues? Maybe you have to do it all on one day, or maybe you split it up and put 125 out one day and 125 out another day, so that you get them all out at least once a week. And if you've got the time and you can, you know, I'd recommend putting them out twice a week, because obviously you're then going to hit your 30-day challenge much more quickly. And then once you've done your plan, you should then stick to it. Don't wake up in the morning and think, I'm not sure if I'm going to go out today or not. You need to get these habits of, you know, putting my catalogues out on a Monday and a Thursday, picking them up on a Wednesday and a Saturday, whatever your routine is. If you can get into a good routine, then those disciplines will really reward you. Oh, here we go. Right. So the next thing is be aware that what we use within our team certainly is a 6x4 routine. And what I mean by that is you deliver a catalogue back to the same houses every 4 weeks. So when you're first starting off, you know, you'll be delivering catalogues to new houses, and then later on that week the next lot of houses, the beginning of the next week some new houses again. You keep going round. After 4 weeks you go back to the beginning and start delivering to the first houses that you deliver to again. And I always say give them 6 chances to place an order with you. People are busy these days. You know, they'll get the catalogue and they'll think, oh look, a new Kleeneze catalogue. You know what though, I'm just not going to have a chance to have a look at it today. So they put it out for you, and you can go back, and for various reasons people will order from you, people won't order from you. If you go back 6 times, you've got a good chance then of showing your customers that you're reliable, that you're going to be delivering to them regularly, and you've also given them the chance to show you that they wish to order from you. After 6 times, if somebody hasn't ordered, chances are they're not likely to order, or even if they do, it could be quite rare. So that's probably the time to say, okay, I'm going to cross these people off my list and start to get down to just delivering to my customer base at that point. So, you've made your plan, you know which days of the week you're going to go out. So the next thing to do is, when it comes to delivering the catalogues, firstly, plan your route. Just get a little map, highlight the roads that you're planning to do, and you know, a great idea, and this is what we say this all the time, is just start close to home. Go out the front door, turn left, follow the postman, just deliver to every house in your street. The next time you're going out, go out and turn right and start delivering to every house. Gradually working outwards from your own house as you kind of over the next few weeks, until after 4 weeks you come back to the beginning again and start delivering to your neighbours. Don't flit about. Don't think, oh, I think there might be some good houses over the other side of town. There may well be, but if you go over the other side of town, you'll be missing all of the good houses, all of the good customers that live right on your doorstep. And deliver to every house. Don't prejudge. You know, there's loads and loads of examples of people that sort of said, oh, I was going to miss this one house because the garden looked really messy. There was a fridge and a bicycle in the front garden, and I didn't think I was going to get it back. And hey presto, they get a £30 order, and then the next time they get another £25 order, and the next time it's another £20 order. You can never tell what kinds of houses your customers live in. Don't let you decide, let your customer decide. So deliver to every house and just don't prejudge. And do deliver to houses that have signs on saying no cold callers, no junk mail, we don't buy from doorstep sellers. That's exactly right. They don't like people knocking on the door saying, excuse me madam, would you like to buy some cheap electricity or nylons or whatever. But most people, a lot of my good customers have these signs up, and they just love to be able to browse through the catalogue in their own time, over a cup of tea, put the catalogue out, and knowing that the person that's going to deliver it to them is there. In my case, they know that it's Chris. I'm going to call them before I pop round. Loads of little things like that that they get to know. So do deliver to these houses, because even though it looks like they might not be very welcoming, you'll be amazed at the customers that you find. The only exception I find that I would say not to deliver to is if you've got flats where you have a block of flats, and let's say there's half a dozen letterboxes all together outside the front door. If you just pop 6 catalogues through there, it's very tempting, because you think, oh, that's great, I've got 6 done, it took me about 10 seconds. The downside of that is when you go back to collect them and there's 2 catalogues on the floor near the boxes, you've got no ideas who's ordered from you, who hasn't, who's returned the catalogue and who hasn't. And you've then got to start knocking on lots of doors, buzzing lots of buzzers to try to find which ones have given you the catalogue back or not. You can get around that. You can put sticky labels on each of the plastic bags saying, flat 1, flat 2, flat 3. So there's ways around it, but just at the beginning, don't just pop a load of catalogues into a load of letterboxes, because it will be difficult to work out which has come from which. Ignore any other distributor. We all live in an area where there will be other distributors around and about. There'll be people. When I first joined, my upline Sue Marshall had been delivering catalogues in Ringwood for 9 years, and I thought, oh God, it's a waste of time me going around delivering catalogues in Ringwood. She must have every single customer in town. But we all know that Sue will just be on her customer base, and I picked up loads and loads of customers in between all of her customers, because the way that we build our customer base means that we leave gaps in between for people that didn't order at the time we were blanketing. So if you come across another distributor, just ignore their catalogues. The person that you put the catalogue through may order from you when they didn't order from them for all sorts of different reasons. Maybe they just moved into the area, and so they weren't ready to order at the time they had the catalogue through before. It could just be something as simple as they like the sound of your name and not the sound of the other person's name. Or maybe they've had a bad experience with the other person, so they're pleased to find a new distributor. So there's all sorts of different reasons. We all know that we're independent and that we don't have territories, and that's the beauty of the business. So just ignore any other catalogues and ignore any other distributors. Actually, when I say ignore other distributors, that doesn't mean you kind of have to be rude and blank them. I just, if I come across another distributor that I don't recognise, I always just sort of say, oh, hello, and introduce myself and say hi. You can be friendly, and there's no reason why you don't need to do that. But just, don't think, because there's another distributor in my area, I can't deliver. Because we all have other distributors in our areas. And as you're delivering the catalogues, make sure you keep records in your round book from which houses you delivered to. As you're going round, you may well have customers that sort of say, oh, excuse me, sorry, I don't want this, thank you. And so you can cross those off your list. If the customer's already told you they're never going to order from you, it just saves you time in future dropping a catalogue in when they don't want one. So you can keep track of which houses you delivered a catalogue to and which ones you didn't. And that's really, really important as you go to build your customer base and when you go to collect the catalogues as well. Close gates behind you, just general courtesy, okay? So just things like, as you go through a gate, it's not a bad idea to close it behind you, because if there is a dog or anything that comes running out of the door when they open it, and it goes tearing down the path, the customer's not going to be very happy. But if you close the gate and it keeps them in, that's fine. And in this windy weather, people's gates can go slamming and all sorts of things. So close the gates behind you, just walk on paths, don't walk across lawns or flower beds or anything like that. And talk to everybody you come across. Customers are actually really nice people who are just friendly and chatty with you. So, just say, hi there, morning, windy day today, isn't it? Or whatever it might be. And people can then just, once they see who you are and that you're a nice, friendly chap, you'll be amazed how many times you'll pop a catalogue through, say hello to somebody who's working in the garden, and when you come back, there's an order there because they thought, oh, that was a nice, friendly chap that came in. And then they relate you already to the Kleeneze catalogue rather than it just being a faceless catalogue that they don't know yet. Did I miss something there? No? Okay. So, you've delivered your catalogues, excuse me, you're going back to collect them. A couple of days later is not what I recommend, and certainly what the fast forward system is. So if you put them out on a Monday, you'll collect them on the Wednesday. The only exception that I use occasionally is if I'm putting them out on a Friday, I might collect them on a Monday, but that gives you the idea. So when you're collecting your catalogues, make sure that you take your round book with you, where you wrote down which houses you delivered to and which ones you didn't. Make sure you take your thank you slips. So if you've got some orders, then you can pop a little slip through thanking the customer for their business, because that makes a lot of difference. They kind of look forward to you delivering it, and you can give them an idea of when you're going to deliver their order to them. And also, and this is really important, take the sorry I missed you slips, because you won't get all of your catalogues back. And even if you knock on the door, if the person's not in, you can just pop a little slip through the door saying sorry I missed you, please put the catalogue out on your doorstep, and then I can collect it without disturbing you. Again, those slips will all be in the Buzz starter pack if you've ordered them from the Bids web shop. So as you're going round in your notebook, make a note beside the number of each house that you've delivered to. Did you get the catalogue back? Did they order? Did they look at it? Now, the way to tell whether they looked at it or not is, if you remember when I said about preparing the catalogues, I always say put one of the catalogues in upside down and back to front. And the reason for that is if somebody then takes the catalogues out to have a look at it, and hopefully you get lots of those, then when you're looking through the catalogues, obviously people tend to look through one catalogue, look through the other bit. If they're trying to be helpful and they put them all back into the catalogue, into the plastic bag, then 9 times out of 10 they'll just kind of put them all in facing the front, because that's just kind of the nature of what people do. They try to be tidy. So then when you're collecting them back up again, you can see that they've forgotten to to put it in the same way that you did. So they're kind of, you can tell that they've looked at it, if that makes sense. Okay, when it comes to placing your order, you need to go onto your website. So that's the kleeneze.co.uk. Guys, I'm really sorry about this. My daughter's just coming back from her drama class and she hasn't taken the key out. I can hear her banging on the door. Bear with me for 2 seconds. Sorry guys, I'm back again. And relax. Okay, so you need to go onto the Kleeneze website, so kleeneze.co.uk. You should have received an email from head office just about the day after you started, which will have your password in. If you haven't got that, you can just reset it when you log into your account. And a good thing to remember is, as you're logged onto your ordering system and you're putting in the different items that your customers have ordered, if you haven't got enough to complete your whole order, then partial order, so the items that you've entered so far. Yes, thanks Adele. Sorry, the orders that you've entered so far will be remembered, so you can log off, come back in the next day after you've picked up some stragglers to add the rest of your order, and then send that off, so you don't have to kind of send it off when you're halfway through, if that makes sense. Good thing to be aware of, the delivery cut-off time is 3:15 in the afternoon. And what I mean by that is orders are delivered within 2 working days. So for example, if you put an order in on a Monday, as long as you get it in by 3:15, then it'll be delivered to you on the Wednesday. If you put the order in after 3:15, so if it's 4 or 5 in the evening, then it would be the Thursday. So that 3:15 cut-off time is useful to remember, because it gives you an extra day, if you like, to get your deliveries out. Okay, so you placed your order. couple of days later, the goods arrive. Here's a little picture there of a few boxes and plastic bags with mops and dusters and all sorts of different things in. So when these arrive, they'll be delivered to you by Parcel Force. And one of the things that you'll soon find is that you tend to be in the same part of the Parcel Force round every day. So that they will come to you around about the same time each day. And so you unpack your boxes and just sort all the different items out into your customer's order. So you should have all of the order forms that your customers gave you. Now, the order forms come in two parts. There's the pink part and the blue part. And the pink part is supposed to be a part that's kept by the customer. So when they write the order out, they tear the two parts, they put the pink part, keep the pink part and put the blue part back in the plastic bag when they put it on their doorstep. I find 95% of my customers just put the whole lot back into the order, into the plastic bag. And so what I do, I kind of use that to my advantage. So when I'm sorting out my orders, I tear the two bits apart. I keep the pink part, if you like, as my checklist, as these are the orders that I need to deliver. And the blue part, I staple to the carrier bag, and that's the receipt. When I give it back to the customer, I say, "Hi, Mr. Johnson, here's your order. Thank you very much." I point to the blue receipt and I say to them, my contact details are all on your receipt there. So if you've got any questions at all, just give me a call. So they know that that's their receipt and they know that they've got my details on there if they need to contact me. And I just use the empty boxes to put the carrier bags in with each of the orders in. And I just kind of, having sorted them into the order that I intend to deliver them, you can just put them in the box, one behind the other. And as I said, I use the pink receipts as my checklist. So as I'm driving round to my different customers, I can just, the pink one is, if you like, this is the next one I'm going to deliver to. And because if they're in my car, in the box, there might be 1 or 2 or 3 boxes full of carrier bags, because the customer's orders are stapled to the carrier bag, it's quite easy for me to find, Mrs. Johnson's order or Mr. Graham's order or whatever it might be. Okay, so when you're coming to deliver your orders, if possible, give them a call first. I always do this, and my customers have said to me over and over again that they really value this part of my service. And all it is it's just, as I'm driving around, I give them a quick call. "Hi, Mr. Johnson, it's Chris. I've got your Kleeneze order. Is it okay to pop it round?" If they're not in, obviously I can leave a message for them. And if they are in, they'll always say, "Oh yeah, come round now." Occasionally they might say, "Oh Chris, I'm just about to go out. Could you pop round tomorrow morning?" or whenever it might be. But the big thing that they really appreciate is I'm not just turning up on the door and then thinking, "Oh crikey, hold on, I'm not sure if I've got my right money." And so they're kind of, a bit flustered. If you've called them and then you knock on the door, a minute, 2 minutes later, they know you're there, they've got their money ready. It just speeds up the whole process, and the customers have said they really, really like that. So definitely worth doing that. At the beginning, you might not necessarily have all of the telephone numbers of all of your customers, because sometimes they might not write it on. But over a period of time, you will get to, keep a list of them. The customers will pay you cash or cheques. You can also pay by card now. But normally, if they pay you cash, obviously you just keep the cash. If it's a cheque, customers will often ask, shall I make it to Kleeneze or to you, or who shall I make it to? And it's pretty much up to you. Either of them work. I tend to get custom cheques made out to me, and then I just pay all of the cash and all of the cheques into my own account, and then I just pay Kleeneze what I owe with the debit card from my account. But if you do have any cheques that are made out to Kleeneze, then you just need to pay those into a branch of the NatWest using the gyro slips that you got at the beginning. You can reorder gyro slips as well if you use them up. I always get 1 or 2 people write cheques out to Kleeneze, so usually when I'm going to the bank, I've got most of it goes into my account, and then 1 or 2 cheques for Kleeneze. I just nip over to the road to the NatWest, and that gets credited directly to your Kleeneze account. So it just means that that's a bit less for you to pay when you're paying off what you owe. As I said earlier, I always highlight to my customers that my details are on their receipt, so if they've got any problems or any questions, they can just give me a call. And I always say, especially if it's a new customer, that I'm happy to refund or replace the goods for any reason. If they're not happy with it or it's just not quite what they were looking for, you want to give your customers the confidence that they can order from you. Because when you are ordering from a catalogue, sometimes it's not quite as you expected it, or the size isn't quite what you thought, or whatever. And if they're thinking, oh, I'm not sure if I could better order it because it might not be quite right, then they're going to not order from you. Whereas if they know they can just return it or get a replacement whenever they've got any problems with it, they're much more likely to order from you. Okay, a couple of questions. See who's been awake when I sneaked off there. How many weeks would it be when you're blanketing your catalogues to a new area for the first time before you go back to the same houses? Helen says 4 weeks. Jenny says 4. Good. Adele says 4. Good. Bit of a pattern building up. Well done, Andrew. Yeah. Excellent. That's right. So 4 weeks. If you go back to the same houses about once every 4 weeks, that's what we found seems to work best. Natasha, well done. 4 weeks. Okay, your 30-day challenge. Can you remember how much in orders you want to target in your first 30 days? Very good, very good. Go to the top of the class, you guys. 600, 600, 600. I'm pleased. So many people have been paying attention. Okay, quick question to people, and maybe this is a bit different, excuse me, if you're new to the business and you're not sure compared to if you've been doing it for a while. How many catalogues a week are you planning to try to get out? 250 from Andrew, 250 from Helen. Well done, yeah. I mean, I always say to my new starters, if you can aim to get your catalogues out once a week, 200, yeah, 200, Natasha, 200 or 250 a week is a good start. If you've got the time, Stephen's planning to do 500. If you've got the time and you can get 250 catalogues out twice a week, obviously you're earning money more quickly, you're finding your customers more quickly, and you're going to get your 30-day challenge more quickly. There are, as you'd expect, you're going to find customers more quickly. But I would say aim for a minimum of 200 to 250 a week, and then you've got a great chance. Okay, so we're kind of coming towards the end now. This is what we've just covered, apart from my quick dash to let my daughter in. Basically, take action straight away. Don't wait for 2 or 3 weeks after you get all of your equipment before you start. Get started straight away. And make sure you know about your 30-day challenge, when your date is for when that's up, because that makes a big difference. You might put an order in the day later after your 30-day challenge, whereas putting it in on the day of your 30-day challenge will give you 250 free catalogues. How to prepare your catalogues, planning, what days you're going to put them out, delivering, collecting, placing the order, receiving the goods, and delivering your orders. So here we are now, back to, this is the, we've just finished number 1 there on the Kleeneze Circle of Success, which was all about getting started. Next week is your first 4 weeks. So obviously by now you've got your catalogues out, collected them back up again. What can you expect in your next few weeks? That's what we're going to be talking about. So I'm just going to stop the recording